Hey guys, Tony here at the DirtFish shop. Today we're going to talk about control arms, all different types of control arms, how they're made, and control arm bushings and all that kind of good stuff that goes along with them. So here in front of me, I have a few sets of control arms. I have 08 and 15 STI rear uppers. And these control arms are from about 04 STI and 04 WRX era. So the difference in these is this one's solid aluminum. It would come on like an STI, like I said. And this is stamped steel. This is gonna come on an 04 WRX. So in rally, we've seen people run both these. We've tested both of these. And we find that the stamped steel tends to be a little bit weaker. We think that the manufacturers have designed a crumple zone into this control arm, so it bends extremely easy. So on a STI GD bodied rally car, the aluminum control arm is the best to run. It's gonna be stronger. Some say, yeah, aluminum's weaker, but we found that this solid aluminum control arm tends to be stronger than this one. So moving on to 08 STI upper rear control arms. They made a cast forged upper control arm setup. We've done a lot of testing on this control arm. It's really good. In 2015, they switched to a stamped steel control arm, which is a little bit different. As you can see, it's got robot welds all over it and things like that. It's pretty thin out here at the end, so it is a little prone to bending on big jump landings and things like that. And then over here, we have a tubular homemade rear upper control arm. It's made out of chromoly tubing and then gusseted with more metal. So we find that this tends to be the weakest. The steel's pretty weak, it tends to bend. We have never bent one of these, but we have heard about them cracking on big jump landings on some of the rallies that are known for bigger jumps like tall pines and things like that. On the school cars, we tend to run these, and then depending on the class for stage rally, we will also run this as well. So if like we're trying to shoot for limited open class, this fits within class rules. So moving over here to the tubular control arm, this is a lot stronger than both of these setups. The nice thing about this tubular control arm too is it uses a rose joint on the end or a rod end. This allows us to adjust camber and get a lot more alignment settings out of our car and do a lot more things. Over here, I have some 08 STI lower control arms. Here's a stock one. It tends to be pretty flimsy stock. So as you can see, what we've done here is welded on some metal, gusseted it up. So if you see, we've added strengthening and we've plated the whole bottom. So now this control arm is double the thickness. And same thing up here. This is a 2015 STI rear trailing arm. I can bend this by hand. It's so weak, almost twist it. What we'll do is we'll add metal. Now some sanctioning bodies for rally, for production class, they let you add metal to the control arms. They don't let you take anything away, but they'll let you add metal. So this is what we're doing, and this is still production class legal. Something like this, where a tubular setup is really cool and really strong, super adjustable, but it's not allowed in production class. So next thing we need to talk about is bushings. Once we start getting into shocks like this that are extended travel and extremely large stroke, we kind of start to limit the range of a stock OE bushing. You know, when this is bolted into the subframe and it's got to rotate 10 inches of travel, the bushing can't just handle that and it'll rip. So there's two options you can do. This is a polyurethane bushing. It is a white line bushing that is a direct replacement for this bushing here. What you would do is put this in the press this OE bushing out, and then replace it with this polyurethane bushing. The polyurethane bushing has a center metal slug, and the polyurethane goes around that slug, and that allows it to rotate. So now I can almost get 360 degrees of travel around this bushing. And even better than the polyurethane bushing is a solid spherical ball joint. This is a metal joint in here. It's like a bearing, just like this rod end, but basically inside this tube. And this can spin a whole 360 degrees. The nice thing about this solid joint is when you're going super fast, 80, 100 miles an hour, and you hit your brakes super hard, when you have a weak bushing, the control arm is going to wiggle around. And that's going to change toe on your wheels, and you're going to have, you know, handling problems. The car is going to feel twitchy. You'll get toe out, things like that. This is going to be a nice solid mount, and as you hit the brakes, there's nowhere for this thing to move. It's a solid bearing. These do wear out, the solid bushings and the rod ends, so they tend to be a little maintenance heavy and are a little bit not on the budget side, but for handling characteristics, this is the best. So all in all, it really depends what you're trying to do with your car if you're trying to choose one of these setups. Obviously, a stock car comes with this control arm, so you already have this piece, so it's very easy to you know, grab some metal, cut out a template and weld it to your stock control arm to make it stronger. Or if you're trying to win an open class you know, rally championship, something tubular like this is definitely the way to go. That's all I have for you today. Make sure you hit subscribe below and find out what we have store for you next in the shop.